Hey everybody, we just had to take a little break out of the garage, come inside where I'd like to show you a little bit about how to rig up these frogs, some of them tricks we were talking about. So we'll start off with this brand new snag proof frog in the package. What we're going to do is essentially we're going to end up wrapping these hooks to eliminate some of the spring in them. And I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about here in a minute. We're going to do a little bit of color modifications to them, trim some tails up, and I'm going to show you how to tie a really good knot on these things. So, first thing, obviously take your frog out of the package. Let's see here. Set that aside. Now, everybody always asks, how do you get this body off of the actual hook so that you can do your modifications? Really simple. What you want to do is just take some regular monoline. You don't need a waist braid or anything like that. And what you do is just tie it on here, just like you normally would, So we just tie this thing right on here real quick. Trim off your little tag end. Now what I like to do this way, when you have this line attached to it, this monofilament, you can actually take the body off of the frog, slide it up here, do whatever modifications you need to do, and then you can slide the body right back on the hooks. It makes it real simple, because if you try and take this body off this frog and you don't have the actual body on something, it is a pain in the butt to get it back over this hook. So what I do is I usually just kind of wet up the tip a little bit to kind of let it slide over. And grab your two hooks down here at the bottom. And see, that body will actually slide right off the hook and the nose will pop back out. So this way your hook's free and you just leave the body right on the line like this. You can do whatever kind of modifications you need to do now. Now, what I was talking about with hook flex. Very, very important. This is the way a stock Gamakatsu EWG hook comes out of a frog. Great hook. Okay. Now the number one problem with it is, like I said, with that big heavy Dobbins rod, heavy line, all this stuff. When you set a hook on a big fish without these two hooks, just the way they're designed, you pull, you really set the hook hard. These hooks are going to spring out like this. See that? They're just going to open up. They're just going to spring just like that, and that is no good. So essentially, what we're going to do. And for video's sake, I already have one here kind of rigged up a little bit for you. Now, let me take this thing out of this ring right here just to show you. Now, again, that's what these hooks do. They go like this. They're going to open up just like that. See how they're opening up? Now, I've pre-wrapped this one with some braided line on here around the shank where the two hooks are adjoined here. And when you go to flex this thing, you can see they don't flex. They give you a solid, there's no spring in this hook, or very minimal. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to wrap this one, but like I said, we have one pre-wrapped just for video's sake. Basically, what you want to do is just take you some 65-pound braid, whatever your choice is, cut you off, a foot and a half of it, leave you a little extra. Okay, we got our hooks done, legs trimmed up, we're ready to do some coloring. So, like I said, keep some Sharpies with me, a couple of different colors, black, blue, a red, kind of a purple. And what I want to do is I essentially want to break the silhouette up of this frog. So, what I want to do here, like I said, breaking the silhouette up. Now, start with the black here. I'm just kind of going to make some random lines. But what it is I'm just, going to kind of make some lines right down here, down the side of the bait. And they're pretty subtle. I'm not getting on here, I'm not drawing no giant artwork piece or nothing like this. But, I'm always thinking about what the primary forage is right now out on the Delta or Clear Lake, wherever you're at. If I'm on the Delta, especially coming into August, I'm thinking bluegill. That's what I think these fish want to eat. So, again, I'm going to put these lines on the side here. This is kind of going to break the profile up. And then one thing I'd always like to do, so I got a little bit of dots on the outside, some lines here. I like to get my red one out. And I like to color the actual little lead insert. Whenever you look at the bottom of one of these frogs, you can see where the lead's molded into the bottom of it for the bounce and everything else. So I always color that, whether it be black, red, purple, it don't matter, whatever your confidence is. But I don't like a shiny piece of lead on my frog. So, I'll color that in real quick. And again, I'm kind of going for bluegill right now. And I know some of the bluegill are just getting off the spawning beds out there. So we're going to kind of give them a little red fun hole. So we color that up red there. Now, what I got here is I got some blue, I got some purple, and what I might do is I might just make some gills on it, kind of on the bottom here. Just make some little gills like this, and I'll put, you know, some dots, like some gill plate dots, like a red ear gets kind of on the side. You know, and I'll color them in. And again, all I'm really doing here is I'm kind of giving dimension to the frog, breaking up that silhouette. Again, while I'm keeping in mind the forage they're at. You know, like I said, we're talking about August. You know, the frog tournament's coming up. I really feel that they're going to be really starting to get into looking at eating bluegill. You know, that simple. These fish want to eat bluegill. So that's kind of what I'm trying to mimic here. You know, so a couple more little touches on here. And again, it's nothing too drastic. You know, I've seen guys where, I mean, God, it looks like a bridge in LA with all the graffiti on here and everything else. Or you got gang signs on the bottom of it. It's terrible. So then, you know, I might just put a few more little marks here. Just some little stuff. A couple different colors. I mean, it can't hurt. You know, I'll put a few little dots like this. I'm thinking here real hard, so bear with me. And that's really about it right there. There's my bluegill in August. Alright, frogs colored, hooks are wrapped, this thing is ready for action. A couple more real quick tips. First thing, a knot. You know, we're talking about braided line. The knot I prefer to use is a double Palomar knot. Simple reason is it gives me a little more line around the eye. I feel safer with it for that hard impact. Double Palomar knot is really simple. It's no different than a Palomar knot, except you double your line up when you tie in it. So what you do is, like I said, you double your line up, pop it through the eye of the hook real quick. Just like this here, just like you would with any Palomar knot. You just loop it right back on through. Just like that. Pull your ends out. Tie your overhand in it. And slide it on through. Now the only difference with the double Palomar is when you do cinch it all down, you got to pull 2 tag ends versus 1. Just like that. So now that thing's tied up just like this. Now with braided line, whenever you're tying it, leave yourself a 1/4 inch of tag line above the knot. And the reason that is even though you did tie that big double Palomar, the first few fish you catch or snag you get into, that knot's actually going to start slipping itself. So I do leave myself a 1/4 inch here after you catch 4 or 5 fish on like that, and that knot's sucked all the way down. You can trim it real close if you like. Okay, knot's on there. Now, one more thing. With braided line, because of the colors it has, I do color the line. Simple way to do that, get you a big old felt pin like this. If this thing was brand new, what I do is I give me a razor blade. And all it is you just take the razor blade, go into the tip of it, cut you a couple slices right down the felt. Now what that does, it gives you a real easy groove. So when you want to put this line here, what you do is you just put the pin up there, obviously, slide the braid into it, and look, it just sits right in that notch you just cut out. And I'll color 3 foot, 3.5 foot, and run it up the line a couple times. And you're all set right there. Your line's colored, your frog's ready, you have a good knot, a good hook, this thing is ready for action. Well everybody, there you go, man. We went over everything. Went over everything from the Dobbins 736 rod, went over from the Revo 7-to-1 reel, like I said, heavy 65-pound spider wire line, got the frogs rigged up, talked a little bit about the mechanics of it. You guys are set, man. Again, the frog bite is ready to go out there. It's going right now. I hope to see all you guys at the Snack Proof Open in August. Should be a great bite, and I wish everybody a whole bunch of luck.